and I want to talk about Bitcoin as well as some other things going on in the world. Bitcoin has been on fire lately. In case you haven't paid attention, Bitcoin just rose above 28,000. I think hitting as high as 28,900. And Mark Cuban actually hates Bitcoin, which is very interesting to hear. And I'm going to break down the reasons why Mark Cuban hates Bitcoin. But I'm also going to talk about some other things going on in the world of finance, what happened in the stock market today, what I expect to see happening as we go into the rest of the year, and what we should expect in 2021. And then I'm actually going to stop for a minute and take some questions and kind of hang out with you guys. So get comfortable, hit the thumbs up button. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. We're going to get started right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. So I'll start the conversation for today on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has really been on fire. I don't know. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you are invested in Bitcoin. We've been talking about crypto for years here, and in 2017, it was taking off and doing really well. And I remember kind of saying the same thing I'm kind of saying now, except differently, that with Bitcoin, you got to be careful though, because crypto, nobody really knows what the floor is with crypto. Nobody knows how far it can go or how far it can drop. And so, just be really cautious. But got a couple extra nickels. Crypto might be worth looking at. This is not investing advice, but this is me telling you what I'm doing. And I don't invest a big part of my portfolio in crypto. I think that maybe I have about 8% of my portfolio in crypto, and maybe as high as 12% now, though, since Bitcoin has been on fire. It's been on fire. The price of Bitcoin is going up, up, up. I mean, it's literally gone up about 60%, I think, in a month or something, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was at about 17,000 on December 12th. And that was good news. That was a big deal. I mean, that was, almost triple what it was when it hit the dip. And so if you were a person that just, did what they call hold on for dear life, then you probably made a lot of money. Give me a yes in the chat if you made money on Bitcoin. I see you in there, Larry and Lorraine and Edmund and Adrian and Leslie. Okay, so you guys are investors. It's okay if you've missed it, so far. I'm just going to say I've been paying attention to the experts who are saying that Bitcoin has a long way to go, that it could actually go as high as 400,000. I'm just reading these assessments, and a lot of it seems to come down to the fact that Bitcoin is of limited supply. And that seems to be the big kicker. Limited supply, maximal interest from a lot of retail investors, a lot of institutional investors, a lot of wealthy people that have lots of money are interested in Bitcoin and crypto. And so we know the world's going digital. I think the question is, how's that going to change? Now, here's the thing. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he hates Bitcoin. He hates it. He actually describes Bitcoin as a religion and not a solution. He says it's a religion, not a solution, because he doesn't see Bitcoin actually achieving its final goal of becoming an actual currency. You know how Pinocchio wanted to be a real boy. That was the goal of the movie. Well, he doesn't believe Bitcoin's ever going to be a real boy, because you've got this thing called the government, and you've got different governments around the world that have a vested interest in making sure that their currencies are protected. And to some extent, with Bitcoin being defined as digital gold, if you will, a commodity that allows people to store value and to hedge against inflation and to pour cash in during risky times in financial markets. The big question is, how's this going to play out? Nobody really knows. I just want to be a part of it when it does go down. I believe that there is tremendous potential here, and although I respect Mark Cuban, I'm going to just say that I'm not going with his thoughts on this. And I bet you that if you go deep into Mark Cuban's portfolio, I'd be willing to bet your butt that man owns some Bitcoin. I bet he has just a little bit, just enough so that when it happens, FOMO doesn't kick in, fear of missing out. He doesn't miss out on that. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. We're building Black media here, and I'd like for you guys to do that. Also, I want to let you guys know about AskDrBoyce.com. Some of you have financial questions for me, and I know you guys are emailing questions in. And I just want you to know my email is so overwhelming. It literally I get depressed when I open up my email account, because there's thousands of emails in there every day. So I can't answer every financial question, but I do answer questions for students in the Black Business School. So if you want to join a special program called Ask Dr. Boyce, it's pretty awesome. What I do is I do a question haul. Every week I send out a link and I say, put all your questions here. I will answer every single question. And then what I do is I do a video and I put the response to your question in the login for Ask Dr. Boyce, and you can actually see my answer to your question, and you can submit as many questions as you want every week, and as long as you keep them short to be respectful to everybody else. So if you're interested and you want to give it a try, go to AskDrBoyce.com. If you're already in the Black Stock Market program, don't bother, because you actually get free access to Ask Dr. Boyce if you're in the Black Stock Market program. So that's something we've created, and that URL is right there on the screen. So let me see here. So what else is going on in the world? Well, one thing that's really interesting is, let's actually, one final point I want to make about Bitcoin is that they said that one of the reasons that the price keeps going up is because a lot of people are just refusing to sell. A lot of people just see this as something that could potentially explode, and they're just not letting go of their Bitcoin. So when you go purchase, you got this extra supply and restricted demand, and so that's going to push the price up. Now, the other interesting thing about this, though, is that mining Bitcoin takes up a lot of energy. I could have sworn that I read somewhere that they said that the amount of energy that is used up to mine Bitcoin is the same amount of energy it would take to power a country with 200 million people in it. So, that's a big deal. That's going to be a problem. So I'd be curious to see how that all plays out. You know, but I will say again, I think the good outweighs the bad, and I look forward to seeing how this happens. Also, some other interesting things in financial news is that I read in today in CNN Money that you may actually need a travel vaccine, if or travel sorry a vaccine passport if you want to travel to different countries. I don't know if you guys are planning on traveling after the pandemic is over, but they're literally claiming now that you may actually need to prove that you got the shot before you can actually travel to certain countries, go to concerts, stuff like that. That bothers me because I don't want to get the shot, because I just know 99.9% of us are not going to die. I'll take odds. 99.9% are pretty good odds. So I just can't. I just can't. I can't play that game. I can't walk around pretending to be scared when I'm really not. And the thing is that you have to also realize this. It's not a coincidence that with the virus coming out of China, it's not a coincidence that the biggest economic winner in the game of global economic competition has been China. It's not a coincidence. I mean, do you really think that it's a coincidence that China just happened to be the biggest beneficiary from the pandemic? No, it's not a coincidence. China is very strategic. Let me just say that. I'm not going to get too deep into conspiracy theories and all that, but if you understand how they play the game of wealth and power, you can see exactly what I'm trying to say. But I'm not trying to say it too much because people don't understand. Sometimes you talk over people's heads and they get mad, but it's not as simple as you might think, and it's not just because they had everybody wearing masks and social distancing. It's much deeper than that. China understands the United States. They understand what's going to shut us down. If you look at the U.S. economy, it's a complete mess. It's an absolute wreck. It's a complete car crash. I'll tell you what, if I was president or something, if I had a position of power in this country, I never would have shut down the entire economy. I would have left a big chunk of it open. I would have made sure people were safe. I would have built more hospitals, and that would have been it. I know in Chicago where I live, they actually put up a field hospital at the McCormick Center, this gigantic building. It cost $66 million. We have a black mayor named Lori Lightfoot. I don't like her at all. But Lori Lightfoot spent $66 million building this field hospital, and literally it wasn't even used. It wasn't even used. And so anyway, that's what it was. I'll just say that it's kind of crazy, and it kind of makes me sad, and I kind of wish that we could actually walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't think we had to shut everything down. So anyway, so when you go deeper into what's going on right now, the stock market's been doing really well. This has been a great year for the stock market. There's no reason to think 2021 won't be a great year. I personally am a big believer in being consistent with investing, and I think that consistency pays off. And so I encourage you guys to, whatever you want to do, make sure you have a financial plan for your family. If you want to put a question in here, a short question, if you want to put a short question in, feel free to put a short question in here. And if you have questions that you really, really want me to answer, you can do one-on-one consultations, but those are very expensive because I don't have a lot of time. Or you could join AskDrBoyce.com, and I answer every single question submitted by the students, and I send them a special link where they can ask questions. So the URL is right there on the screen, so feel free to do that as well. What water water stocks are you purchasing? None. I don't have any water stocks here. I know about Dr. Claude Anderson speaking about the water shortages and things like that. But as of right now, I haven't made any moves in that area. It was not China that shut down America. It was the powers that be that shut down America. Well, Bernard, it was actually both. It was, the Chinese government has a certain type of resiliency and consistency that the U.S. government doesn't have. And also, one benefit of having an authoritarian government is that you're able to get things done quickly and make clear decisions. You don't have a lot of wrangling and fighting back and forth and tug of war. You just make a decision, and the whole country goes in the same direction. So that's the benefit of their setup. But there's all obviously downsides to it. But I just, in general, the way this pandemic went, the people that made the most money, the people that benefited the most from the pandemic were billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos both made over $100 billion during the pandemic. And if you pay attention to their response to the pandemic, if you go back to the very beginning, neither Musk nor Bezos stopped moving when the pandemic hit. Elon Musk literally said that this panic is stupid. He kept his factories open. He kept on moving. He said, okay, we're going to, Jeff Bezos spent $4 billion disinfecting all the Amazon facilities and everything else. Everybody's whining and crying. Oh my God, everybody's going to die. No, you're not. No, you're not. Everybody listening right now, none of you are dead right now. Doesn't mean that you can't die, right? You could get shot. You could go to Chicago and get shot tomorrow. There's thousands of people that are dying every single day, but there's also the chance that you might not die. And if you don't die, then you're going to have to live. You're going to have to pay your bills. You're going to have to be able to pay the rent. You're going to have to be able to feed your kids. So now we've got a bigger problem because the solution was worse than the problem. The solution was worse than the problem. Now you got a suicide problem. You got an eviction and homelessness problem. You got people running around here desperate for money. I mean, people doing anything that they can do just to get by. So, and waiting on a $600 check. You think that's really better, or do you think maybe we should have done what Musk and Bezos did? Just keep it moving. I mean, you can sit back and get mad at billionaires for making money, but that's not going to solve the problem. So those are my thoughts on this. I just really think we handled it all wrong. I think China handled it right because China said, look, we're going to contain this thing, but we're going to keep moving. We are not going to shut down the economy. And as a result, China is one of the few nations around the world that actually had positive economic growth during the pandemic. They're predicted to have extraordinary growth in the year 2021 because they know how to walk and chew gum at the same time. And they also, honestly, to be honest with you, they probably didn't tell the truth when they were saying we have no more cases in our country. They were probably just handling it quietly. Is that a bad strategy? I don't know. It's up to you to decide, but I know that it worked. All right, so let me see here. Okay, I'm looking at some of your questions here. What do you think about Amazon long-term or short-term stock? I like Amazon long-term. I think Amazon's great. Do you have a Robinhood account? Yes, I do. Let's see, the investment guy. Let's see, Rusty, do you think the Chinese economy is doing well? Yeah, it's doing well relative to our economy. Absolutely. Our economy shrank big time because literally they're telling everybody to stay home and wait for your $600 check if they decide to send it to you. I mean, it's the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. Boyce Watkins, which investment app would you recommend? I like them. I like a lot of them. I use Robinhood and Stash and Acorn and E-Trade and Ameritrade and those are the ones that I use. But there's others out there as well. There's a bunch of them out there. Let's see here. Jay Wood, what industry is next to invest in for the future? Electric vehicles or medical? I think both. I have investments in both. The electric vehicles market is really exciting. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening there. If you could, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button, subscribe button, all that stuff. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if you want to ask me a specific financial question, if I don't get your question, you want to make sure your question gets answered, you can join Ask Dr. Boyce right there. The memberships don't cost much. You can do a free trial. And what you do is you submit your questions. I answer every single question. And I send out a video each week of me answering the questions that were submitted that week. But the members are the ones who can log in and see the videos. Plus, you get archived responses to literally thousands of questions I've already answered before. So it's a great program for those of you that want to learn and understand how all this stuff works, or just want to do Q&As all day. And then also, if you're a member of the Black Stock Market Program, you actually get access for free. So feel free to take a look. Let's see here. What is your name of your website for bloggers? Website for bloggers. Baka Boom Shaka, like that's funny. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but if you have a question about a special program, you can actually email support@theblackbusinessschool.com. So that's support@theblackbusinessschool.com, and they can guide you to what you're looking for. And by the way, if you actually do go to the Black Business School, I don't mention this as much as I want to, but we actually have people that are right there that can actually talk to you, like wealth specialists that can help you figure out what you'd like to do for the future. Oh, let's see. Robin says the boot camp. Yeah, that's the Black Wealth Boot Camp. We start on January 7th. And so that's the URL for that, blackwealthbootcamp.com. So feel free to join the Black Wealth Bootcamp. It's really good. A lot of people like it. And if you don't like it, if you ever do anything in the Black Business School and you don't like it, if you just let us know, we always make it right. Like we will give you a refund. But usually before we even get to the refund, we figure out what's wrong and figure out how we can give you what you need. So we're better than any university you've ever attended because we actually care deeply about Black people and Black wealth, and et cetera. We're all about Black economics. I don't think you're going to get that from the University of Iowa or University of Texas or something. Let's see here. I hate Bitcoin too, says Gano. Okay. Lorraine, can you invest in Bitcoin through Robinhood or Stash? Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Thoughts on Alibaba stock, Bryce? I think Alibaba is going to have some problems because right now Jack Ma is under a lot of pressure from the Chinese government for alleged antitrust violations. So the Chinese government is pretty gangster. Like they're not going to let the corporatists have as much control and power in China as they do in the United States. Like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, the amount of wealth they have and the amount of power they have, that will never be allowed in China. China does a couple things that Black people should think about. They don't let outsiders come in and take control of their country. They just don't. So they're very oriented on powernomics. They practice powernomics better than Black people do, even though a Black man wrote the book. And also, their government just it's an authoritarian government. They do not they will make an example out of people. They had this actress. Well, here's the problem. They had a problem with the Hollywood actors getting a little bit too big for their britches, so they were actually tax evading. They would file one type of taxes for the government and another set of paperwork for their actual contract. So they would get two contracts, one for the government and one from the studio. And so they were basically evading taxes. So what China did was they kidnapped the most famous actress in China. So imagine, whoever you think is the most famous actress or actor in America, or among the most famous, I don't know, Samuel L. Jackson or somebody like that. Imagine Samuel L. Jackson just going missing for 6 weeks. He's just gone. He's not even, nobody knows where he's at. His family doesn't know, whatever. Nobody's saying anything. And then he comes back like 2 months later. And this is what happened. This lady came back 2 months later. And basically the government had taken her away and they forced her to issue a public apology, and they fined her $100 million. Like they literally busted her down and broke her down in front of everybody to basically say, if you mess with us, we're going to do this to you too. So that's how the Chinese government kind of operates. They're pretty gangster, and I don't think that's always a good thing, but that's kind of what they do. So with Jack Ma, I think he's challenging their power, and they're challenging him back. So Alibaba could end up being broken up. I think Jack Ma is involved with the Ant Group as well as Tencent, and they're just like, this dude has too much power, and we're not gonna let that happen. So, Boxing Bully says, "Where's the link?" Well, if you're talking about the Black Wealth Bootcamp, the link is right there, blackwealthbootcamp.com. If you have the link, if you want the link to ask me questions or to join the Q&A group that I have, you can go to askdrboyce.com. So feel free to do that, and you can do a free trial there. Let's see here. What are your thoughts about investing in Bitcoin mining companies? Says Digital Glow. That's not a bad idea. I mean, I can't give a clear yes or no. It depends on the company, but I don't see that being a bad idea. Suave says, should we fear Chinese stocks due to delisting? I don't think so. I think the Biden administration is very China friendly. Trump didn't like China, whereas Biden is pretty much in bed with China. He like Obama. Obama was pretty he wasn't going to give China too much trouble. Let's see, Deborah, what do you think about all these folks talking about the dollar crashing? Yeah, it could happen, but I wouldn't get so caught. I wouldn't let these end of the world conspiracy theories keep you from investing, because people like that, they just die broke. They just sit on the sidelines screaming and hollering about the world, how the world's coming to an end. Think about it. Imagine a guy born in 1950 who spends his whole life, let's say he lives to be 70 years old. So he spends his whole life from 1950 to 2020 telling you that the world's going to come to an end. So he never invests anything. He never builds any wealth. He's just sitting on the sideline telling you that if you invest, you're stupid. You're going to lose all your money. That means that basically he missed opportunities to make money in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. So all the while you're sitting on the sideline talking about the world's going to come to an end, money's being made all around you. I can show you easy math to show you that a person who invested consistently over the last 30 years is going to be rich, even if they're investing small amounts of money. The $5 a day investing plan is a perfect example of that. Anybody can do it. If you go to theallblackagenda.com, my $5 a day investing plan is free. It's right there on that page. Just sign up and get it for your family, because literally it shows you mathematically that if you were to have invested $5 a day, which is less than the cost of a Popeye's chicken sandwich, and did that consistently, then after about 10 years, you'd have, I think, about $30,000 or so, somewhere around that, at least 25. After 20 years, you'd have, I think, over $100,000. After 30 years, you'd have $250,000. So your family, like, you can die leaving wealth to your family. Like, you can die with a wealthy family. There's nothing stopping anybody that's listening here right now from building a wealthy family, except maybe a lack of belief, or the Negro naysayers in your family who told you that it's not possible. In fact, there are probably people in this chat who've been listening to me for years where your life has already been changed. I mean, it's not, I hear all the time from people that say, I started listening 5 years ago and I did this and did that. Now my financial situation is completely different. Give me a guess in the chat if you're one of those people. Like, say something in the chat so the people that are just here will know that this is a different platform. This is not just like some of these other spaces where people are just running their mouth on the internet or starting Twitter fights and YouTube fights. Like, this is like a place where Black people come to grow. This is where you actually will walk away as a better human being because you were here. So I hope some people will confirm that so that others will see that and they will know that this platform is a space where you can actually become a better person, financially speaking, and then other ways as well, I hope. Let's see here. The SOA show says, a lady said her 16-year-old son learned from Boyce Watkins and is winning now. There are thousands of kids who've gone through like our programs for children who have more money than most grown-ups. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. Our Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program is one of a kind. It was designed on academic research. Remember, my PhD is in finance. A PhD is like a different kind of understanding. Like, I can understand these things on a very deep, deep level, the way a mother understands their child, right? And so anyway, if you're interested, you want to take a look at the program, the blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com, that's the URL. The first month is free, or you can do like a one-time thing where you just have lifetime access one time so that maybe your child can go through the curriculum 2 or 3 times. And the other cool thing that we have is once your child's done, they can get like a little baby bachelor's degree that they can put on their wall. And the reason I did that is because a lot of times what you can do isn't as important as what you think you can do. Who you are isn't as important as who you think you are. So I want our children to think that they are meant to be economic gods. Like, I want our children to see themselves as the next Elon Musk, or instead of Black, of course, or the next billionaire, right? I want our children to see that. So if you put that seed in their head when they're young, then they're going to get past all the poverty talk that they're surrounded with when they get older. There's a lot of struggle talk in the Black community that's encouraged by people who want you to be disabled. They want you to be handicapped. They want you to believe that you can't do anything on your own, that except wait for a government check. And I hate that. It drives me insane. I believe we can do better than that. So blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com, that's the URL. It's right there on the screen. So if you're interested, you have kids, I guarantee if it doesn't change your child's life, then just email us. Like, we will give you a refund. Like, we're not a typical university in that not just are we extraordinarily Black and extraordinarily good at what we do, but also we have no problem giving a refund. Like, I'm sure your college, the university that you're $80,000 in debt to, I'm sure they didn't give you a refund. A lot of people will be getting refunds because they didn't learn anything, but we actually give refunds. So, if you're not happy, we'll give you a full refund. So there's no risk at all. So let's see here. Let's see. I'm expecting my children to have more money than us. Yeah, they should. Absolutely. Mark James says, I'm surprised the whales haven't pulled their profits yet. Well, there are some studies that are saying that they have been doing that they actually have the Bitcoin whales, meaning the people that buy lots and lots of Bitcoin are actually selling a lot of their Bitcoin, but a lot of people are actually holding their Bitcoin too. Tim Washington on Robinhood, they're selling groupings of orders to high frequency trading firms. Those firms get the orders, but they don't do the ethical thing. Yeah. Robinhood's in trouble right now. They're actually being sued over that. I think they're going to resolve it though, but they are getting sued over that. Somebody asked about XRP. XRP is in trouble because XRP is a crypto called AKA Ripple, that is in trouble right now with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which has accused XRP of illegal securities trading. You're supposed to register securities when you sell them, but there's a question with crypto whether it's a currency or a security. I believe the XRP is a currency, but you can make an equally strong argument that it's a security. So ultimately, it's going to come down to the tomato. Is it tomato or is it tomato? And the courts are going to decide. And as a result, though, they've already achieved their goal. They've already ruined XRP, at least in the short term, because they made the asset toxic. And the market makers have stopped trading the XRP, which means that even if you don't think XRP is going to go down, it's very hard to remain invested in a toxic asset unless you're prepared to take on that risk. I personally am okay with that. I want to take on that risk because I like XRP. I still do. Never stop liking it. And I actually bought a little bit more, but just know that I am fully prepared in my mind to lose everything because this could easily go in the wrong direction. But I just believe that there's so much there. Jay Clayton, the SEC chairman, is out. A new chairman's coming in. I wouldn't be surprised if all this gets reversed, and when it gets reversed, XRP is going to skyrocket, and I'll make money then. But then again, though, it could never come back. It could end up going down. Like exclamation thought says, XRP could be hot garbage. It might be. Let's see here. Jay Reed, does your business school teach options and futures trading? We do options. We don't do as much on futures, but actually, if you want to take a look at a stock options masterclass I put together. You can go to stockoptionsmasterclass.com. It was really good. It was 6 weeks, and the recording is available at the URL that's right there on the screen. If you could take 1 second, hit the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the Black Financial Channel. This is where we do financial stuff every single day. Let's see here. Let's see. Any insider trading blogs that I could look into to gain more insight into the market? Well, insider trading is illegal, so yeah. But there are insiders that do trade, but insider trading technically would be considered illegal. Are penny stocks ever any good? Asked Don Lewis. Most of the time they're not, but sometimes they are, but most of the time they're not. Penny stocks, you have to be careful. They're traded over the counter, which makes them very risky and not very liquid. What do you think of the top 3 electric vehicle stocks? Asked Mel. I don't know. Let me think. I like Workhorse. Workhorse has made me a lot of money this year. What's that other? I like Neo. Neo's interesting. I like to sell the call. I like to sell the options. I'm not really because selling the options will generate income, and it's like bird in the hand versus 10 in the bush. Like I don't necessarily want to gamble with my money. I don't know if these companies are going to take off or not. I just buy the stock and I'll sell the options and get income. No matter what happens to the stock. So there's 2 types of portfolios I have. One that I'm just holding for long term, and the other part that I use to generate income for my family every month. And those tend to be specific stocks I pick using specific criteria based on the price of the options premium, and that generates literally monthly income. Like so, it's different ways to kind of look at it. So stockoptionsmasterclass.com, I kind of go over my method for doing that, so you can feel free to go take a look at that. Options are really good. It's a good way to benefit your portfolio. Martha Stewart got caught up in insider trading. Yeah, she sure did. What do you think about EOS? I don't know that company, Ashley. I'm sorry. Mr. Blexit, can you look into VeChain? I do not know what VeChain is, but I can look into it. And by the way, if I don't get your question, you want your question guaranteed to be answered, you can go to askdrbboyce.com. So feel free to give that a try. Let's see. Do you read company balance sheets, says Elijah? A little bit, but not in a way where I'm trying to actually price the company. I let the analysts do that. Tony, what do you think about Ethereum? I like Ethereum. I own a lot of Ethereum. Alicia, is buying a whole share the only way to see profits? No. You can actually buy partial shares. You can buy what they call fractional shares. You can do that on your Cash App, actually. Ben, where can you buy XRP? I don't know how easy it is to buy now. I know on my Coinbase app, I tried to do some stuff with my XRP and they blocked me. They wouldn't let me do anything. So I think they suspended trading, but they issued a statement saying that you can leave your XRP on in your account. But I know that during certain hours you can't trade it. Like the other cryptos, you can trade them 24 hours a day and all that. But XRP has really been hit because of the accusation, which kind of makes me a little bit nervous because it makes me wonder if they're going to do that to any other cryptos. I don't really like that. Do you invest in Tesla? Says the young stunner main. Yeah, I do own some Tesla because I like Tesla's long term potential. I don't own as much as I used to own because I found better investments. Travis, how do I get Black Business School affiliate links? Are you okay with me promoting school on Clubhouse app? Email support at the blackbusinessschool.com, Travis. I don't, I don't think that the team is still serving the affiliate program. I think we have a couple of affiliates that were just there from the beginning, but the affiliate program was something that was a little bit tough to administer. So, but we can see, just send an email to support at the blackbusinessschool.com and let's see what we can do. But yeah, Clubhouse. Actually, I'm on Clubhouse. If you're on Clubhouse, you can follow me at Dr. Boyce Watkins. Also, I'm using this really cool app that I like called Parler. I know it was started by conservatives, but I don't care about that. What I like about Parler is they actually give you freedom of speech. And that's all I want. I don't really care if you're liberal or conservative. I'm not threatened by other people's ideas. I don't feel like I have the right to tell other people to shut up. And so basically, if you go to the Parler app and download it, I like it because they don't stop you from talking. That's all I want from social media. I don't need you to agree with me. Just let me give my 2 cents and stop telling me what I can and cannot say. So I'm on the Parler app at Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm also on Clubhouse at Dr. Boyce Watkins. So feel free to follow there. And also, if you haven't bought your first share of stock and you want to get free information from the Black Business School, there's a URL there, firstshareofstock.com. So feel free to go to firstshareofstock.com. All right, let me see here. So do you think biotech is a good investment? I mean, I don't see why not. I think it's company specific, but I mean, biotech is pretty big right now because of all the virus stuff going on. Elijah, why are Black people scared of the markets? Because we've been intimidated and terrorized for 400 years, and some of our people just survive on fear. So if you want to get Black people to do something or commit to a false idea, all you got to do is scare Black people, and we'll get easily triggered. Next thing you know, we'll do what you tell us to do. Bitcoin's 29,000, says Kevin. Okay, let me see. Let me check my. Give me a yes or no. Let me know if you can still hear me, because I'm switching something over on my phone. Let me see. Okay, I am logging in. What? Oh, shoot. Look at that. Bitcoin is now officially 29,143 at the time of this recording. It has gone up 60% in the last month, 22% in the last week, 304% in the last year. So, for everybody who invested in Bitcoin, congratulations. Just remember, though, you got when the sun is out, that's when you got to prepare for the rain. So, just know that it ain't always like this. Money does not come this easily. Um, let's see here. Talenta, how can one buy U.S. stocks from South Africa? Go to a major bank in your country and tell them you'd like to invest in the U.S. And they probably have funds you can invest in, things like that, or whatever the most popular apps are to invest with in South Africa. That could work as well. Elite Mind says, how do you feel about Forex? Forex is not as straightforward. I can easily tell everybody in this room exactly how to make money in the stock market because we've got 100 and something years of data and clear, proven strategies that will align your economic success to the growth of the U.S. economy, right? That's very easy to do. Forex ain't so easy because, Forex is based on currency valuations, which are never like absolute. Everything's relative. So if you ask me, is the Japanese yen worth more or less than it was before? Well, the answer is relative to what? It's like trading in cows and pigs and chickens and horses and dogs. The value of a dog might go up relative to the value of a horse, but the value of a dog may go down relative to the value of a chicken. So it becomes very confusing, and it's also it's a very liquid market, which makes it fun and exciting. It's open 24 hours a day, so it's a great casino. The Forex market is a wonderful casino, but I don't see it as a place where it's as easy and straightforward to consistently make money over the long haul. Some people will disagree with me. I know that, and I'm not here to argue with anybody about it. But I'm not a big big fan of Forex per se as a long-term, simple, passive wealth building strategy. But then again, Pudge Beats, I don't disagree with you. I can see why you like Forex. It's a very exciting market. Bridget said, I lost money on Forex this summer. I'm done. LeVar says, I love your channel, boys. Financial freedom's your only hope. Yeah, I hope you guys will subscribe. Is everybody subscribed? If you are subscribed, there's a URL. It's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Could you please subscribe and please hit the notification bell? Like, give me a yes if you've done that, because I really want you guys to help us grow. We've got about 112,000 subscribers. And we want to keep growing, and so it's a good channel. We provide good content, and you'll benefit from hanging out with us. We will always make you a better black person. We will never make you more ratchet. That is my promise to you. So there we go. All right, so let's see here. Bernard, football players are beginning to accept Bitcoin. Yeah, and I mentioned yesterday, I don't agree with that. I know people got mad at me. They're like, oh, you're being a hater. Just no, I'm sorry. I don't agree with that because it's very risky. Bitcoin could crash, man. Bitcoin is one asset among many. The number one rule of investing is you have to diversify. You must spread your money out. You cannot put all your money into one space. You shouldn't have all your money in Bitcoin. I mean, or even half of it. Like I don't have, I love Bitcoin going up. I mean, I'm excited about it. I believe in the potential of Bitcoin, but I've only got probably, as far as Bitcoin in particular, I got maybe 6% of my portfolio in Bitcoin. I'm not playing with my family's money. I'm not going to go, because y'all saw what happened in 2017. Do y'all remember what happened in 2017? 2017, a lot of people got body slammed. There was this company called BitConnect. Anybody remember BitConnect? And people used to make so much easy money off BitConnect because it was basically a Ponzi scheme. And I didn't know it. And some people on my team came to me with that. They said, this is a Ponzi scheme. Like, you need to tell your people this is a Ponzi scheme. And I researched it. I studied it. I thought about it. I analyzed it. I sent a prayer up to white Jesus, black Jesus, and baby Jesus to give me the answer. And the conclusion was that it was a Ponzi scheme. So I did a video about it saying it was a Ponzi scheme. I got a lot of people that were coming back and debating me to no end and saying, no, Dr. Watkins, you got it wrong. This isn't true. Look at how much money I made. I'm showing you how much money I made. And I'm like, yeah, people make money from Ponzi schemes. That's why they're sneaky. That's why it's tricky, right? It's like if I tell somebody not to go into the dope game, it's not like I can say, well, no one ever makes money in the drug game. No, you make a lot of money until it goes bad. Then you're dead or you're in prison, right? So yeah, Ponzi schemes work really well for certain people. You like that those blessing looms. Blessing looms are making millions of dollars for some people, but a lot of people are losing everything. So long story short, I'm just telling you, I wouldn't, I think it's very risky to put half your income in Bitcoin like that football player did. Um, I wish him the best. It may work out for him. He may have a lot of money, but just because he has a lot of money doesn't mean that it was a good move. It's like basketball. Just because the shot goes in, that don't mean it was a good shot. That might mean you got lucky though. All right. So anyway, let me keep going. All right. So by the way, so the Ask Dr. Boyce URL is up here. If I don't get your question, you want to ask me questions regularly. I literally answer student questions all the time. And I make videos where I'll go down and I will answer your question in particular, specifically. And it's easier because there are fewer, there's not thousands of people sending me questions. So if you want to join that program, feel free to go to AskDrBoyce.com. Also, I've recorded my responses to literally thousands of other questions. So you have access to all of that. So feel free to go to that URL and you can sign up. You can do a free trial to see if you like it. Let's see here. Monica Monovic, do you think the price of crude oil will go up to $80 to $100 a barrel? Do you have oil stocks? I do not have many oil stocks because I don't believe in oil as a long-term investment. I like companies like Exxon in terms of, the fact that they have good management, but I feel like oil is just one of those things where fossil fuels are on their way out, and I just don't see how that's going to be a good move long term. That's just my belief, my 2 cents. So if I did it, it would be a short term trade. It'd be something where I'm thinking, okay, maybe the stock is underpriced, right? That's what makes an investment good or bad, is whether it's underpriced or overpriced. But do I believe that it's going to go up or down? It's hard to say. Hydrogen companies, yes, hydrogen is the future. Let's see. How do you feel about charging station stocks? Says Jay Wood. Well, I saw that brother that does the tech channel. who's really smart. He has 13 million subscribers. By the way, if you got a child that's like smart with technology, you may want to tell them to go check the brother out because he's a skinny black dude that has 13 million subscribers and he talks about technology. I can't remember his name, but I like his channel. I learned a lot about electric vehicles watching his channel, and he was talking about why people love Teslas because they've got so many charging stations all across the United States, and that basically he was saying that's why you should buy a Tesla and not buy like an electric Porsche because if you get an electric Porsche, they don't have their charging stations and they're not integrated with Tesla, so you're going to end up stranded potentially because you can't find a charging station. So I just kind of, I don't know. I kind of thought that was an interesting point. So, and I do think those charging stations, that is the wave of the future. It is going to be something, that makes a difference long term. Let's see. Do you teach auto trading bots? Says Kevin. Auto trading bots? No, we do not have a specific program on that in the Black Business School. Don Lewis, Dr. Boyce, banks, are they long term or short term investments? I like banks. I think they're good long term investments. Let's see here. Krebs says, "Are you an aspiring black supremacy leader wannabe?" Oh man, he's just in here hating. Y'all know black people are superior. Stop playing. Um, well, I'll let y'all figure that out. When we're at our best, I don't think anybody can compete with black people. I'm sorry. Put your hashtag B1 in the chat if you agree with me. John Whitaker says, I guess all I'm trying to say is that I respect what you have to say as a very intelligent person. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate those kind words. Thank you. Let's see here. Marquise Brownlee. That's his name. Yeah. He's really smart. He has a great channel. I definitely subscribe to that. How do you feel about the ETFs from ARK funds? Woof, I love ARK. That's Kathy Wood. It's this white lady who's super smart and she makes great assessments. And I'm a big fan of Kathy. So, yeah, ARK Investments. I've invested in a few of their funds. I like ARK a lot. Let's see here. Pudge Beats, why are tech companies moving to Texas? Probably because they want to get out of California, because California is a terrible place to do business right now because they're overreacting to the pandemic. How do you check if the price is overpriced? A lot of times you look at what the analysts are saying about the stock, so stuff like that. And by the way, if you want my Clubhouse information, you can find me on Clubhouse at Dr. Boyce Watkins. Sometimes I'll do private chats and groups and stuff like that. I'm going to go back on Clubhouse pretty soon, so it might be a chance for us to network a little bit more. And also, let's see, another URL here is Black Wealth Bootcamp. This is where we start on January 7th. So if you'd like to join us, you can go to blackwealthbootcamp.com. The 30% off discount ends in exactly 36 hours. So if you'd like to get in for 30% off, feel free to go to blackwealthbootcamp.com. All right, so let's see. Do you invest in commodities? A little bit, not as much as stocks and real estate in my business. What is your feeling on owning gold? I like gold. I think gold is a good hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty. Golden Bear Fitness. How do you feel about the yuan as investing in the currency? I don't invest in the yuan. I don't trust the Chinese government. They love to lie. Thank you, Jerome, for your donation. I appreciate that very much. Jerome says, I'm rolling the dice on crypto bull run of 2021. Well, first of all, I'm happy for Jerome. Everybody congratulate Jerome because I know Jerome has made a lot of money if he's betting big on crypto. But also, I encourage you, Jerome, don't think of it as betting, right? It's not betting, you're investing, right? A gambler is different from an investor. And a gambler just, rolls the dice and just takes risk. And they engage in what we call risk-seeking behavior. You don't want to engage in risk-seeking behavior, but an investor takes calculated risk. So an investor may seek out risk also, but they seek it out in a different way. And so there's a way to kind of think about it. So as you invest in crypto, go hard, do your thing. But I would make sure you spread your wealth, spread your money out. Like don't go hard in one particular area or find yourself in a position where you're under diversified. That's how people go broke. So thanks again for the donation to the channel, brother. I appreciate that very much. Let's see here. Okay, Danielle, you said you're trading by Bitcoin. Don't do any solicitations in the chat, Daniel. I'd hate to have to block you. I don't want you to do that type of stuff because I'm liable for that type of stuff. Let's see here. All right, so I'm about to get out of here, guys. So have a good day. It was great talking to you. Thanks for listening. Me and Alicia are here, and she's patiently waiting for me to have some free time so we can go lay in the bed and watch Star Trek together. So I'm gonna go lay down with my baby and watch some Star Trek. Our favorite show is Deep Space Nine, actually, and she got me hooked on it. And just a little relationship tip. I I actually took the time to learn about Deep Space Nine just so I could connect with her. And guess what? I love the show now, and it gives us something to talk about. And one way to seal your relationship is to find things that you both love together, and that gives you one more thing to enjoy together as a couple. So there you go. Open Rank says, does size matter in the bedroom? Well, I think it does, but if you don't have any size, you better find a way to compensate. Whatever that is, I'll let you figure out what that means. All right, so hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and blackwealthbootcamp.com. We get started on January 7th. And like I said, if you didn't get your question answered, you want to get guarantees that your questions will be answered, feel free to join AskDrBoyce.com. The URL's right there on the screen. Just go take a look. I explain how it works, and I answer every single student question every single week. So feel free to join there as well. So have a good day, guys. It was great talking to you, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.